Hello and welcome to Market Square, your go-to show for deep insight into business and economic trends. I'm Olaitan Adibayo, and today we are diving into two major stories shaping the economy. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Market Square. Let's get straight into it. In the Niger Republic, a worsening fuel crisis is disrupting daily life, leaving streets empty and businesses struggling to stay afloat. Long queues stretch for miles as citizens desperately search for petrol, a commodity that was once readily available but has now become a luxury. Since the start of March 2024, Niger Republic has been struggling with an exceptional shortage of fuel, a crisis that has severely affected economic activities. Filling stations in major cities like Niamey ran dry, and citizens were forced to turn to the black market. For years, Nigeria relied on Nigeria for up to 50% of its fuel supply, with petrol often smuggled across the porous borders. However, with the end of the fuel subsidy and rising price in Nigeria, smuggling has become less attractive to illegal traders, cutting off a crucial supply line for Niger. The crisis has also resulted in a staggering disparity in fuel prices across the country. In Kone, the border town between Nigeria and Niger, a litre costs 1,200 sefa, about 2,500 naira per litre. In Agade, the same litre of fuel skyrocketed to 3,000 sefa, equivalent to 7,500 naira per litre. And in Aralit, a local government under Agades, which borders Algeria, the prices sold to 3,500 sefa, approximately 8,750 naira per litre when converted. This extreme fluctuation makes fuel more inaccessible for many. The crisis has deeply impacted Niger's economy, affecting both transportation and businesses. Public transportation has become increasingly unaffordable for many citizens, with fares doubling or even tripling. Many commercial drivers have abandoned their vehicle due to the exorbitant cost of fuel, leaving commuters stranded. The informal sector, which relies heavily on fuel for generators and small-scale operations, has also taken a hit. Without access to power, businesses have either reduced operations or shut down entirely. Markets which depend on stable power supply for refrigeration and lighting have seen sharp declines in activities affecting food storage and trade. Niger's dependence on external fuel sources has extremely made it vulnerable. With Nigeria tightening border security and cracking down on smuggling, the country is left with limited options: either increase local refinery capacity or find a new suppliers willing to trade at competitive prices. The situation has also placed immense pressure on Niger's only refinery, the Soras plant in Zinda, which produces only a fraction of the country's daily fuel demand. The refinery simply cannot keep up, and the black market, once fed by Nigerian smugglers, has dried up. The government has attempted to address this crisis by rationing available fuel, but this has led to further frustration as supply remains insufficient to meet the needs of citizens and businesses. The government of Niger has been forced to explore alternative solutions. Officials have reached out to neighboring oil-producing nations, including Algeria and Chad, in search of new fuel suppliers. However, logistical challenges, pricing negotiation, and existing supply agreements with other nations make immediate relief difficult. In a bid to resolve the crisis, Niger has also reached out to Nigeria, despite diplomatic tensions between the two nations. Recently, a high-level delegation from Niger traveled to Abuja, negotiating for an emergency fuel supply. As a result, Nigeria approved the delivery of 300 truckloads of fuel to ease the crisis, but this is only a temporary solution to a much deeper issue. Some analysts suggest that this crisis in Niger may be partly self-inflicted. Niger's confrontation with Chinese oil companies, especially the China National Petroleum Corporation, contributed to the collapse of the country's petroleum sector. After a failed loan repayment negotiation and an aggressive tax demand on the Soras refinery, Niger expects Chinese oil executives, which further strain its already fragile petroleum industry. There have been calls for Niger to accelerate its economy to diversify its energy sources. Renewable energy supplies such as solar and hydroelectric power have been suggested as long-term strategies to reduce dependence on imported fuel. However, such projects require substantial investment and time to implement, leaving Niger vulnerable in the short term. As Niger faces one of its worst fuel shortages in history, the crisis highlights the need for energy independence and stronger regional cooperation. Without a long-term solution, the country will continue to grapple with fuel insecurity, and the lives of millions will remain uncertain. While Niger battles the fallout of Nigerian subsidy removal, Nigeria itself is facing its own economic hurdles. To navigate its growing fiscal pressure, the country is turning to international lenders for support. Nigeria stands at a critical economic junction as the World Bank prepares to approve a total of $1.13 billion in loans before the end of March 2025. These funds are part of a broader effort to strengthen economic resilience, improve health security, and drive education reforms across the country. According to the World Bank, 3 major projects for Nigeria are currently in negotiation, with approval expected this month. One of these is the Accelerating Nutrition Results in Nigeria 2.0 program, valued at $80 million, set for approval by March 31, 2025. This initiative aims to tackle malnutrition, particularly among vulnerable groups, by improving access to essential dietary support. Another key project is the Community Action for Resilience and Economic Stimulus Program, which has a commitment value of $500 million and is expected to be approved by March 24, 2025. This initiative is designed to provide economic stimulus for community-driven projects, enhancing economic stability and growth at the grassroots level. Also, the Hope for Quality Basic Education for All programs with the proposed funding of $552.2 million is also at the negotiation stage, expected to secure approval by March 31, 2025. This initiative focuses on addressing infrastructure deficits in schools, enhancing teacher training, and making education more accessible nationwide. This loan's approval comes at a time when Nigeria is grappling with severe economic challenges, foreign exchange liquidity constraints, rising fiscal deficits, and an increasingly debt burden. The reliance on World Bank financing has grown significantly over the years. In 2023, Nigeria secured $2.7 billion in loans, funding projects in renewable energy, women's empowerment, education, and the power sector. By 2024, this figure has nearly doubled to $4.32 billion, reflecting the country's urgent need for financial support amid mounting fiscal pressure. Looking ahead at 2025, Nigeria is set to secure 6 additional loans from the World Bank, totaling $2.23 billion. These will fund critical sectors such as digital infrastructure, healthcare, education, nutrition, and community resilience. However, concerns continue to mount over Nigerians' rising debt obligations. Recent data from the Central Bank of Nigeria reveals that the country has spent $5.47 billion on external debt servicing in the last 14 months alone, placing immense pressure on its foreign reserves. In response to the growing worries about excessive borrowing, the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, has emphasized a shift in strategy. Instead of relying on costly commercial loans, he insists that the government is prioritizing alternative funding sources, including revenue generation, concessional loans, and strategic investments. But despite this assurance, Nigeria remains the 3rd largest debtor to the World Bank's International Development Association. As of December 31, 2024, the country's debt to the IDA stood at $16.8 billion, though it has dropped to $300 million from the previous quarter. With the World Bank now playing an increasingly central role in financing Nigeria's economic programs, the question remains, how sustainable is this reliance on external loans? As the government seeks to balance debt management with economic reforms, the nations must find long-term solutions to strengthen its financial independence and ensure a stable future. As Niger Republic navigates its own economic hurdles, Nigeria is exploring complex challenges that will shape its future. And that's it for today on Market Square. I'm Olaitan Adebayo. Thank you for joining me. Be sure to stay informed, stay vigilant, and stay ahead of the market. See you on the next one.